Iqbal Mohamed.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I rise today to speak against the new clauses in my name and to lend my support to several of the new clauses. Some have already been spoken about by my honourable friends across the House. New Clause 6 about financial abuse, mismanagement or fraud and protecting the players, and New Clause 13, which my right honourable friend just spoke about regarding neurodegenerative care schemes. Football should never be a luxury. It should be a shared national experience, accessible to families, to young people, to lifelong fans. But more and more it's becoming a commodity. A game that was built by and for the working class is now priced out of reach for the very people who gave it life. If I wanted to attend the first Premier League game in August, I'd be looking at paying over £200 for 2 tickets on the secondary market. That's before you factor in travel, food, or the rising cost of living. Even in ordinary times, that's a huge sum, and for most people, it's simply unaffordable. Football is becoming a luxury experience, not a communal one. Historically, football thrived because it was accessible. Its rise alongside the expansion of the railway network allowed working people to follow their teams home and away. It became more than just a sport, it became a pillar of community, identity and pride. Fans, the heartbeat of this sport, are being pushed to the margins. Our current ticketing system is pricing them out. That's why I've tabled New Clause 8, which introduces a duty on clubs and competition organisers to ensure a fairer access and greater transparency in ticket sales, especially in reselling tickets where fans are not able to attend. We're seeing ticket prices skyrocket while secondary ticketing platforms exploit demand and rake in obscene profits. This amendment compels clubs to monitor the secondary market, report harmful practices and offer resale channels to stop fans getting ripped off and scammed. Fans should know the real face value of the ticket and they should have a safe, fair way to buy and resell. No more profiteering, no more shadowy resale platforms. The price of attending Premier League games is beyond the means of most fans, even more so if they want to share that experience with family members. Now, Madam Deputy Speaker, I should declare an interest as a lifelong Liverpool fan, and I do share my condolences to the family of Diego Jota and his brother, who tragically died recently. And while I may be biased in thinking it's the greatest club in the world, I also say with pride that Liverpool has shown what fan-focused leadership looks like. The club recently froze ticket prices for the 2025 and 2026 season following discussions with the supporters board. That's a model of engagement and sensitivity supporters that deserves recognition. But not every club takes this approach, and that's exactly the problem. This is a culture we want to see rolled out across the country, one where fans are not an afterthought but at the centre of decision making. And my amendment makes that approach a requirement, not just a gesture of goodwill. This leads me to my second proposal, New Clause 14, which introduces mandatory vetting of foreign financial investment in football. This is about protecting the soul of English football from the corrosive influence of dirty money. We have seen firsthand how vulnerable clubs struggling under massive debts become easy targets for opportunistic investors looking to launder their reputation or gain geopolitical influence. I've raised this before. Sports washing is now one of the most insidious trends in football, where once the term might have brought to mind the 1936 Berlin Olympics or the 2015 Baku Games, today the UK is at the top of that list. That should shame us. I repeat the example I gave in the first speech on this topic, where Abramovich's ownership of Chelsea, it was seen as a huge success for the club that had hid his ties to the Russian state and the close relationship with Putin, which should have raised huge financial and ethical concerns, but were overlooked. For years, he used our game to rebrand himself, shifting attention away from questions about the origins of his fortune. But it was only until the invasion of Ukraine that real action was enforced. This shows exactly why we need stronger safeguards to prevent this happening again. The amendment empowers the independent football regulator to block investment from funds linked to money laundering, criminal finance, human rights abuses, or any breaches of UK or international law. That is the bare minimum. If Amnesty International or other watchdogs have flagged the state or source of funds for its abysmal human rights record, there should be a red flag, not red carpets for the potential owner. So let's be honest, fans sometimes embrace foreign investment out of desperation, but the independent football regulator should protect the game from nefarious funds and nefarious owners. So this district isn't about bad actors, it's about a broken system. Club owners may not see the need for regulation. So we're not just protecting finances, we're protecting values. If this bill and the independent regulator fail to stop abuse, our football institutions by criminal and oppressive regimes will continue, and then they will have failed the public duty. Thank you.
And with an immediate... Can I also thank the member for Dewsbury and Batley for the points that he made about secondary ticketing and the associated points that he made about the cost of football, which for many fans, particularly in the Premier League, I know is of significant concern. This game belongs to its fans. It's nothing without its fans, and it's important that fans are able to access the game that they love and that they've built. And he will know that this government wasted no time in opening a consultation about secondary ticketing across the board. Our message is clear: the time is up for ticket touts, and the consultation that my honourable friend, the Business Secretary, and I launched seeks to work out how, not if, to act on this issue. We're shortly about to publish the response to that. That will be before the House imminently, and I'm really grateful to all honourable members who've stood up for fans, whether it's music fans, football fans or other fans. It's really, really matters that they're heard.